sex is a band-aid, right? And I know a lot of the times people use that as a way of taking a shot at the importance of sex in a relationship. But do you know how important first aid kits are in modern society? Like, do you know how important it is to have a first aid kit? To be able to have band-aids, to be able to have bandages to wrap things up when there's an issue, right? When I talk about the biology first approach, the tenets of my ideology are good dick and guidance. That's the program. Good dick and guidance. On the woman's side, that's respect and desire. Those are the things that make a woman submissive. When she desires you more than she desires to do things her own way, when she desires you to the point where her arousal raises her above her social programming, that's when she desires you to the point where she desires to do the things that make you feel good as a man. She wants to feel good. She wants to be receptive to your masculine energy, and respect does that same thing. Respect is where she values your opinion. She sits under you. She listens to you. She holds on to your words. See, it's good dick and guidance, respect and desire. What sex does is sex is a band-aid. You know, if you have an issue, if you're walking with somebody long enough, you're dealing with them. Eventually, somebody gonna get their feelings hurt. There's gonna be some type of rift in your connection at some point in time. And if you do not have adequate sexual chemistry and compatibility within your relationship, and the ability to transmute sexual energy in a sexual relationship in order to turn that into positive emotions for the time being and closeness for the time being, and to turn that into fixing that attitude and that mindset and how you feel about each other and getting close for the time being, then the only way to stay safe is to hide yourselves away from everybody else. And then people gonna see something's up. Like, one thing to understand is that men and women oftentimes can be like sharks in the water. When you have issues in your relationship, there people can be like sharks in the water, especially if you got a good partner, or at least an attractive one that's desirable. People are going to sit around and watch your relationship, and when they can tell that the energy is off, when they can tell that somebody looks hurt, somebody doesn't look respected, somebody doesn't look desired, somebody doesn't look like they feel loved, what's going to happen is they're going to look at that lack of sexual tension between you two, and they're going to see the actual tension, and they're going to say, I can get them. As a man, you know when you see blood in the water. As a man, you see a woman, you say, yeah, she needs some dick in her life right now. Now, when you're prematurely integrated, as long as the emotions are good, you're on the same page, then you know what can happen in those situations is that, okay, cool, you can give off the impression and you may be able to hide it to more people than others. But if that sexual aspect isn't there, the moment your feelings get hurt, you won't be able to reconnect. See, the band-aid is important. The band-aid is important so that your wound doesn't get infected when you're out infected by opportunistic bacteria and diseases when you're walking around in public, when you're outside of just, alone and with that person where you can talk through those issues. Guidance, the guidance aspect of that is you have to, as a man, know how to lead, know how to heal the things that are fucked up, and know how to bring things to a resolution to where the problems are solved. And that's a two-way street. And that's where the respect comes in. The respect comes in that woman trusting your leadership, trusting your guidance, and following your plan to resolve the issue. But what happens is if that isn't there, the opportunistic diseases get in, things fester, you don't have time to heal up. You treat the wound when you're alone. You don't just have your wounds and your sores or your cuts, you don't just have those exposed out in public. You look fucking crazy. Walk around in public with a big ass gash on your arm. You're gonna look ridiculous. And people gonna know something's wrong, and people gonna be worried about you. But diseases, different things that are out and about, bacteria, it can get in, sneak in through those wounds. You need to be able to cover those up long enough to actually get some solutions to them. And that's why sex is important. Sex is a band-aid, and that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It gets a bad rap because people usually choose one or the other. Either you can solve everything with communication right on the spot, or you put yourself in a position where you just use the sex as a band-aid and you don't actually put the ointment on it. You don't actually put the antiseptic on it. You don't actually put the, you don't actually put the alcohol or the peroxide on it to kill the wound. It's gonna hurt. That truth, that's gonna hurt. You can actually put that love on it, that antiseptic, that ointment on there to make sure that it doesn't fester, to make sure that it is treated. but you still got to put that band-aid on there. If that band-aid ain't on there, then you messed up. And sometimes you don't have enough time to put alcohol on it. Sometimes it's going to hurt too bad and you're not going to put alcohol on it right away because maybe you're a little scary. Maybe you need to take a little time. But before you get home, and you can do that when you get home, when you get in the comfort of your own home, that's when you put the alcohol on there, the peroxide. That's when you put the antiseptic on there. That's when you put that ointment on there and do what you got to do to heal it up. And as a man, you may play that tough role. You know how many people died from festered wounds in this lifetime, in this world? You may say, well, I'm hard, man. I don't need a band-aid. All right, play them stupid ass games if you want. It might work for you, but that's a woman, bro. She's not like you. She's soft. She needs to be soft. If she's not soft, she gets hard, and that woman walks around with those wounds. Another man to say, I can make her soft. She walking around hard like that. I can do something about that. And do you really want those problems? Is that really what you want? You got to have the sexual chemistry and compatibility, because that's the band-aid that you put over your relationship issues until you're in a position where you can actually work on healing those things. If you can't heal those things, like I always say, if you can't make love, you can't make up. So sex is a band-aid. This is Brody Dharma. I'm out.